Today we're going to be looking at how to download your Buzztouch application that you created in your Buzztouch control panel and download that source code and compile it for an Android application. So let's get started. As we can see here, I'm already logged in to the Buzztouch control panel and I'm looking at one of the apps that the class is creating called Restaurants. And I'm going to take a quick look around. I see that we have some screens created. We covered that in some of the other tutorials. And I'm going to see that, make sure we do have this app icon uploaded. And that's really all you need to have is a couple screens created and an app icon. And you can start downloading your source code and seeing it come to life on your device. So let's just scroll down here to download source code. And you can see here that we've got prepare package for the Apple iOS environment or the Android Eclipse environment, which we're going to use today. So I'm going to click on the Android prepare package for download, and it's preparing the source code for us. And now I'm going to click on download.zip archive, and there goes my files. So I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and I'm just going to drag this Restaurants app onto my desktop. So let's take a look inside this folder that we just downloaded. You can see these are all the files that are associated with our application. And right here, this instructions PDF, this covers a lot of what I'm going to show you today as well. So you might want to take a quick look at that. Some handy information in there and some good little pictures to look at. So what you'll need is the Eclipse environment. And there's going to be a link at the bottom of this video in the information section. Just a link to click on for you to quickly download the source code for the Eclipse environment and get you running. So here I have Eclipse open. And to add our project here, we've got our Restaurants application here on the desktop. You can see these are all the other applications here in Eclipse that I have running, that I've worked on. So I want to add our Restaurants application to Eclipse. All we have to do is hit New, File, New, Project, Android project from existing code. I'll click Next. And now I want to browse and find this Restaurants folder we just downloaded. So I know it's on my desktop, so I'm just going to scroll down here and find the Restaurants app. And there it is. I'm going to click Open. I'll hit Finish. And you can see here, right here, BT Activity Root. It just added the project there. But I want to rename that really quick. And it's good practice to select, make sure you're highlighted, your BT Activity Root. Now click File, and go ahead and click Refresh off this menu. That'll get the files in sync with Eclipse. And now I'm going to right-click on the BT Activity Root, and then scroll down here to Refactor, then over to Rename, and I'm going to rename it Restaurants so it matches up with my application. So it's just a guide for me to know, a clue that this is the application I'm working on. I really could have named it anything I would like, but I'm going to name it Restaurants. And another thing we want to look at here is there's a red X right next to our application here, and that's going to give us some errors. What we want to do now is we've got our Restaurants highlighted. We want to click on File, scroll down to Properties, select Android here on the left, and then over here we see we have Android 2.2. We want to click Google APIs 2.2 level 8. As you can see, it was Android 2.2, and we want to make it Google APIs 2.2 level 8. I'm going to click OK. And now you can see that little X has disappeared. So we're getting close to launching this thing. Really cool. The other thing I want to show you really quick is you're going to need a simulator to run this in, and we need to build one really quick. So let's go to Window. This is all in Eclipse still. We'll go to Window, scroll down to Android Virtual Device Manager. And you can see here I already have a bunch of simulators that I've made. But I'm going to click on New, and I'll give it a simulator name for restaurants, or you can name this whatever you like. I can choose a device size. I'll go with 5.1 inch. And make sure here that our target, see how it says Android 2.2 API level 8? We want to make sure, just as we did over here in the project, we want to make sure that we select Google APIs level 8. And then we can hit OK. We've created a virtual device, an emulator. And we can see it's in our list right here, restaurants. So I'm going to close this window. I'm going to go back to restaurants here, and I'm going to click Run now and see what happens. This little green Run button. And see what we get. Now it takes a little while for this simulator to load up, so don't be scared if you're sitting for up to 5 minutes. It could take to launch. Now we can see here it's letting me choose which device or simulator I want to run. For this demo, I'm going to choose one of the virtual devices, which is the restaurants one. As you can see up here, I already have my actual phone, my Android Samsung phone, plugged in, and it's detected that. I could also run this on my cell phone right now if I would like to. And to do that, you just want to make sure that your cell phone, under Settings, Applications, that you're allowing unknown third-party applications to be installed. And if you're confused about that, you can do a quick Google or go to buzztouch.com forums to find some more info on that. But for now, we're going to launch it in the simulator. And I'm going to choose my restaurant simulator and hit OK. And you can see over here the little Android dude popped up. So we're going to start seeing that compile. And like I said before, these simulators can take a little while to load up. So just let it do its thing. And the emulator's still firing up. I saw our restaurant icon on the desktop. And there, our app's starting to run. It's asking me about changes to refresh and push notifications, all that kind of stuff that is getting set up in the control panel. Back on your Buzztouch Zurich control panel. So there you can see that our app now is running. We don't have many screens or buttons yet, but you can see that the app is running. You know, at this point you can change anything you would like on your control panel, and you would see it in real time on your simulator here, on your emulator. And you could also launch the application like we looked at before onto your device and see the changes in real time there as well. So that's pretty cool. So really quickly today, all we did was we went to our control panel. We downloaded our source code for Android. It went into our downloads folder. Then I dragged it to the desktop. Then all I did was add the project by going File, New, Project, Android project from existing code, Next, and then I just browsed for our restaurant app on the desktop and I added it that way. And then we renamed the app to restaurants, to what we wanted, because remember it imported it as a BT activity. But I wanted to rename it, so I just hit File, Refresh, and then I right-clicked on Restaurants, and I was able to go down to Refactor and then hit Rename, and then I renamed my project to Restaurants in this box. So that was just a little quick recap. Now another thing I want to show you, I'm actually going to shut down this emulator right now. I want to show you how to export the actual application. And this will come in handy a little bit farther down the road, but you could also use this, what it's called is a .apk file, to share your application with friends while you're developing, And it's also one of the big steps to getting it ready to go to the Android market, to the Google Play Store. So we're going to make sure our Restaurants app is selected. And now we're going to go to File. We're going to hit Export. And we want to export Android application. We'll hit Next. And our Restaurants project is the one that we want to export. So we'll hit Next. In here, in this lesson, we're going to create a new key store. We could use an existing one if we wanted to, but I'm going to create a new one. This will be the first time you've created one as well. So I'm just going to call it Restaurant, and I'll give it a password of my liking, and I'll confirm, and I'll hit Next. We need to give it an alias, but I think I'll still just call it Restaurant. You can call it whatever you like. Another password. Use the same password as before. Validity, give it like 100 years, something like that. And just fill in your first name or whatever you like right there, and then you'll be able to hit Next. You could fill in these additional fields. You don't need to, but feel free. Now we're going to hit Next. Now we want a destination. So we're going to call it Restaurant. And let's see where we want it to go. I'll just send it to my desktop. I seem to like putting everything on my desktop and making it messy. So I'm just going to click Finish. And what this is going to do is it's going to put our application into a .apk file, and we'll be able to email that or post it up on a site, or in the future, so, when the app is finished, we'll recompile a new APK once your app is all done and submit it to the Google Play Store. So let's check on the desktop. And there's my .apk file. Now I could email this file to a friend, and as long as their device has allowing third-party applications to be installed, that means anything outside the Google Play Store, then they could run and launch this app on their device. So very cool, very, very cool. So again, all we did to export that APK file, and that's used for sharing your application through email or website, and also it's one of the big steps in submitting your app to Google Play. So all we did there was we were on Restaurants, we went to File, Export, Export Android application. Next, we're going to use our Restaurants project, our location. Now I'm going to use my existing key store I already created last time. And you might see this a few times when you're exporting a few of your applications. And I'll just hit Next, and my alias, my same password, or I could have created another new key. And I'll hit Finish, and I'm sure it'll detect the other one on the desktop still, but that's all there is to it. So I hope you guys learned a lot today, and happy apping and happy app building. Of course, I highly recommend going to buzztouch.com and searching the forums, and also saying hello on the forums. You'll make a lot of good friends quick. They can give you a lot of quick tips and help on finishing up your apps very quickly and efficiently. So happy apping, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Go Zurich!